poked away, picked up by Andre from
three-quarters, and he hit it! He had his eyes on the prize and let it fly!
What's going on, Tandemals? Another edition of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live here on twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. We are a proud member of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network. Joining me as always, the co-host to the Stars, Memphis Grizzlies superfan himself, Jackson Law. J Law, how the hell are you?
I'm good, man. Busy weekend in sports. Lots of stuff going on. Lots to talk about.
It's been an amazing weekend for sports and an amazing news day as well. We finished off the NFL wildcard division and the playoffs. A lot of things happening sort of the way we expected them, maybe not to the level, with the Buffalo Bills unleashing 20 years worth of Armageddon onto Bill Belichick. And, the Chiefs sort of playing footsie with the Steelers for 15 minutes and then deciding, oh, you want to play that game?
Okay, we'll start playing football now.
Yeah, now we were going to let you feel like you earned it, but now we're just going to kick you in the teeth. Oh, man. This was and then, of course, Aaron Donald in the LA Rams looking at Calamari going, oh, you think you earned this? You ain't here yet. You ain't on our level yet.
I thought it was going to be much closer than what it was.
So did I. I started watching this game and then I was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to waste my time. That was just wow. I almost want to call it abysmal. I mean, Kyler Murray never looked comfortable, and Aaron Donald even said so. Aaron Donald really called him out and said he just looked shook the whole time. Yeah. And let's start talking about that. Let's talk about the man who's the runner-up to TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year this year, if I may. So in this article from The Spun, from Zach Coons, and he's saying here in this article that Kyler Murray did not look comfortable during the game, and he was very panicked. And Aaron Donald agreed with said assessment. He said, quote, I feel like we were just dominant out there. I think the quarterback wasn't comfortable at all. I think he tried to get out of the pocket a couple of times. We were able to run him down or do something to the point where he threw the ball, made a bad throw. We did what we were supposed to do. That was the game plan, and we stuck to it, and we had some success doing it. End of story. So, Jackson, what I want to put out there to you, are the Rams, this defense at least, the most dangerous defense in the NFC side of the playoff picture right now?
I mean, on paper, they're supposed to be. And I think what really came down to it in this game was just experience showed in the playoffs. In fact, you could kind of look and see throughout all of these games where like experience showed, obviously, like, like how good or how bad players are. But it's like the closer games, it felt like it was between teams that really didn't have, or their coaching staff too, didn't have like too much experience. We'll get to other games, but like the Bengals and Raiders, fairly close game. Niners and Cowboys, both of their coaches had playoff experience and have both been in Super Bowls, but their players had been in the playoffs, so they kept it pretty close. But then it's like the blowouts, like Patriots and Bills, like Mac Jones has had absolutely no playoff experience whatsoever,
and he was thrown to the fire.
Philadelphia Eagles, no playoff experience for 90% of their roster. Quarterback that's never been in the playoffs before. They could hardly move the ball or do anything. The Steelers were kind of like an odd case, but they didn't really have an offense all year anyway. Imagine this team with a good offense and the defense that they had this year.
It would be totally different.
It'd be totally different. They probably would have. I would argue they would have either won the division or they would have been a higher seed wild card team at minimum.
I agree because the Steelers defense, they did a great job against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense for that first 15 minutes. I mean, this was a competitive game in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, yeah.
In the first quarter. But if moral victories were $1, the Steelers would be the most richest franchise in sports.
Yeah. But specifically for Rams and Cardinals, it was bad when Odell Beckham had more passing yards in the third quarter than Kyler Murray did. And that was
more
the case.
Receiving yards than Kyler Murray had passing yards. That's insane.
No. Odell had more passing yards.
Oh, he did. Wow. Nice.
I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure that was the actual stat.
Well, the insanity to me
on
this.
Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. had one pass that went for 40 yards.
Wow.
And at one point, he had more passing yards than Kyler Murray.
Wow. 1 for 1 for 40 yards. The perfect passer rating for Odell Beckham Jr.
He looked good yesterday.
I think
he looked like prime Odell on a couple of those catches.
And the fact that Matt Stafford threw 13 for 17, that is just efficiency. That is just lights out football. And I really think that if the Rams keep this up, now let me ask you this. Do you think this is a fluke because the Cardinals are just that bad? And this is a Cliff Kingsbury team? Or are these Rams, is this a team that sort of goes, all right, yeah, we'll make it into the playoffs, but now we're going to turn it on?
I think both can be true because this was big for the Rams too, because this is the first playoff game that Matthew Stafford has won.
Played in. Yeah.
He's played in a few before because was it Jim Caldwell got the Lions to the playoffs?
Right, that is right. But he was 0 for 3, right? He was 0 for 3.
Yeah. But this was the first one that Stafford had won. So congratulations to Matthew Stafford, 13 years into his NFL career.
Finally gets his first playoff win. But that's what happens though when you're the top pick for a terrible franchise. But I mean, at the same token, you want to try to give them credit for sticking with a bad team and hoping that they're actually going to do what they said they're going to do and build around him. But then they did absolutely nothing. They did absolutely nothing for.
They paid him a lot of money though. He got paid.
He ain't hurting. He ain't hurting financially. That is, physically, he's probably in a lot of pain. But I mean, man, oh man. Sorry, my dog is like being silly right now. There you go. Eat your chicken skin and go away.
3 weeks in a row. Wow. Look at you.
All right. Look at Joe Compton. Made it 3 weeks in a Rizzy. I love it. Well, the crazy thing, though, about Matt Stafford, and let's talk about Matthew Aloysius for a moment, if I may. I think this is a guy who really is the epitome of what a good quarterback can do when he's got a good team around him. Because you figure he did all that he could in Detroit. And I mean, come on, this guy had Megatron lined up off to his right, and they couldn't hardly do anything. Now you look at he's gone into this situation where Los Angeles is definitely in a win now because they gave up so much draft capital for him.
The Rams haven't had a first-round pick in years.
And they're not gonna.
They just keep making trades. Every time they get new first-round picks, it's like, hey, you got a first-round pick that's in 2 years' time. It's like, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get us a vet in here. Get us a 10-year vet in here.
Definitely the anti-Steelers model because the Steelers weren't really trading first round picks up until they went for Minka Fitzpatrick.
Hey, I'll get to see your boy, your future, your QB of the future, Pickett, down in Mobile.
You think Kenny Pickett's going to actually fall that far? You think the Steelers
I
going to take Kenny Pickett?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I feel like they would if they could. I don't know if they would trade up for him, or I don't know if they would if he would fall to them, because there's still a couple teams I feel like that would need quarterbacks up there. I don't think, like, for instance, Philadelphia can stick with Jalen Hurts. He looked god awful.
He really
in the playoff.
He really did. I was listening to that game on Westwood 1.
Oh, I watched it. It was
some stuff.
It's horrific.
It looked as bad as it sounded.
It looked worse than what it sounded. Like, words could not describe.
Now, what gets me is a lot of the first time playoff wins for QBs this past. Absolutely. I mean, and I'll tell you the truth. Let's jump back to Matt Stafford, because Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to be the definite, the opposite side of that coin. And that is, Matt Stafford is a guy who he coming into this season, he had a lot of question marks on him. Could he get it done? And now he's proven, even though like this season hasn't always looked pretty. But I mean, he's getting it done, and I think that the fact that he's on a good team here, where I think that Matt Stafford is I think that this is the shot in the arm that his career needs. I think they're going to get another 5 years out of him.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's going to at least get one Super Bowl under his belt.
I mean, personally, I would like to see that. I mean, originally I had the Bills and the Rams as my picks to make it to the Super Bowl. They both look great this weekend, so who knows? Maybe my preseason picks still hold some merit.
Wow, you did bad when Tim Tebow is cracking on you.
Hey, Tim Tebow won a playoff game, so he can say whatever he wants.
Why you got to bring that up? Tim Tebow can kiss my black ass. How about that? I ain't got no love for Tim Tebow.
Hey, rest in peace, Demetrius Thomas, though, the man that took that to the house.
Demarius.
I said Demetrius, didn't I?
Yes,
Demarius Thomas.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
for real. See, I can't be mad at
I knew the name, people. I knew the name. I knew the man.
I can't be mad at Demarius because he's dead, but Tim Tebow, I can say F Tim Tebow. And I did. F Tim Tebow. I don't care if he does pray. I'll tell you the truth, though. See, now what's funny to me is, so Joe Compton is saying that he had Bills Cowboys. Man, those Cowboys, you want to talk about a team that really got smoked. Like, the Cowboys, like, how can if you're Jerry Jones, how can you keep Mike McCarthy as your head coach? I don't understand how you can keep him as your head coach after that abysmal.
Mike McCarthy, no, but they have said that they expect him to come back next season. And I do not understand it. And the reason why, I know the reason why, but I don't understand it, is because McCarthy is a yes man that will do whatever Jerry Jones says and lets Jerry Jones do whatever Jerry Jones wants to do, and will put up with his crap.
Sounds about right. I don't know. What do you think?
And the people in the past under Jerry Jones's rule, regardless of their success,
he expects complete obedience.
If they fought back, even if they won Super Bowls like Jimmy Johnson, if they fought back on any decisions that he made, then he was going to fire him, which is what happened to Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson got fired after they won a Super Bowl.
That's true. That is true.
He got fired in the middle of a dynasty. They won the Super Bowl the next year because of the team that Jimmy Johnson had built. And they literally changed nothing. All the schemes, everything was the same that Jimmy Johnson had put in place. So technically, Jimmy Johnson should have had a third Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
I wish he could have done it in Miami, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the truth. The thing is that the 23-17 final score in that Cowboys 49ers game, that is very, very misleading, because the 49ers pretty much had that game under lock and key the whole game.
Until the fourth quarter, and then they tried to give it away.
Until the fourth quarter, and then they almost gave it away. And honestly, I think that's a team that's going to have a lot of work to do. Like, they're not going to get deep.
Yeah, but they have so much money tied up. And this game proves to me that, like, I know Josh Taylor mentioned Kellen Moore as what would be a good fit in Miami for their head coaching. Dan Quinn is getting a lot of love with interviews and everything. I honestly don't want either one of them because it's like the defense is so stacked player wise. It's like I feel like anyone could coordinate that defense to succeed. And then on offense, since we're talking about this game, we have to talk about the last play. We have to talk the last play of the game where it was a designed QB draw. Like, was that McCarthy? Was that Moore? The way that it sounds like it was Kellen Moore that called the play and McCarthy okayed it. And then Dak does it, and then he runs too far, and he hands the ball to a center when he should have handed it to the umpire, and the umpire has to touch the ball, and everyone's lined up so the umpire can't get there, and the umpire is trying to get there in a timely manner and ends up running into Dak, running him over to touch the ball, and then they can't get the ball off, and they lose the game. It was a wild way to lose the game.
Yeah, and I think Dak's got to know better. Dak has got to know better.
Yeah, and then I didn't care much for his comments after the game where he was kind of encouraging the fans, you know, saying it's like, oh, well, yeah, it's okay that they threw trash at the refs. You know, he said he's never seen refs run off the field like they did, and that he's sympathetic to the fans for throwing trash at the refs
because, well, see, that's Dak trying to take some of the heat off of himself with that fan base.
I know it is.
That's really all it is. But I mean, but you're not wrong. Like you do not want the face of your franchise acting like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's like super egregious as like what other people.
Oh no, it's not so much
ghastly, you know.
No,
but it's like that's just not a good.
Move.
It's not a good look, bro. It's like just own up to your mistake because he's like, you know,
you screwed up.
Yeah, because every quarterback. Like Michael Vick that next day was talking and he was like, no, you're always trained to hand the ball to the ump because he's got to touch the ball first. And it's like when receivers, it's like when you're practicing your 2-minute drills, you know, in practice, you throw it to the receiver gets up, instantly finds the ump and just throws him the ball and then runs to get set up.
Right.
He's not, you see that all the time. Yeah, you don't hand it to your center, and the center then sets the ball, and then you run the play. No, the umpire always has to touch the ball.
The official has to touch the ball first. And
as a basic common
even
rule.
As a defensive player, I knew that. Well, the thing is, though, too, and Joe Compton once again makes a very, very good point. If this 49ers defense doesn't get Nick, I'm in love. I'm soft right Jay Bosa back. This defense is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they had a couple players go down, and it showed in the second half where they couldn't put a whole lot of pressure on Dak, and Dak was able to find a little bit of success downfield.
Right. I think that at the end of the day, this 49ers team, they're not. I don't see them making it past this coming round.
No, they
are not making it.
They're playing the Packers, and the Packers are going to give them a proper Green Bay welcome.
Absolutely. But you know what? One thing that it does say, though, about these Dallas Cowboys is that they're not going to get that far either. That we're going to see another instance where Dak is going to be losing so much of his prime years under inept play on his part, inept coaching on Mike McCarthy's part. Because I mean, let's be real, Mike McCarthy wasted a lot of good years of Aaron Rodgers' career.
Exactly. Imagine
if he's going to do it again.
Imagine if Rodgers had a Matt LaFleur type coach, like same intelligence, like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, he would at least have.
He'd have one more. Minimum.
At least one more. At least one more.
And you know, one more Super Bowl could make all the difference for his legacy, because look what it did for Peyton's legacy. And Peyton was literally carried to that second Super Bowl.
Oh my goodness!
By that Broncos defense, he was abysmal. His final
he was
year.
More than just carried. He was put on life support by Von Miller's cleats.
Exactly.
Von Miller's cleats were literally doing CPR on him for every single solitary game. All right, and now Bills Patriots, that game was just
What a slacking.
wow. That was never even close. It wasn't even remotely close. I watched a little bit of that game. I had just to give you a little bit of insight inside the curtain of the Tan household. I bought my wife a sectional couch because she had been saying that she wanted a new couch, right?
I love sectionals.
And I got it from Value City Furniture. And what I paid for was they were supposed to bring the couch, bring it into the house, take it out of the packaging, get rid of the packaging, and put the couch together. Didn't happen. Now, to be fair to them, that couch was also way too big for my living room the way it was. And the way it was told was, well, if it's not going to fit in your living room, they'll take it and, we'll figure something out later. These guys brought it, said, hey, this is how you put it together, and left. So what I ended up having to do was take the other couch that was in the living room, take it, put it outside. So I have 2 couches now on my curb, and I had a sign that said free. No one's taking them. I even put them up on Marketplace at $50 for both of them. Nobody. So I guess my next call is going to be the 1-800-GOT-JUNK. And then it was putting the couch where it would fit. Yeah, it was about Weekend at Bernie's 3. It absolutely was. So then finally, I moved the couch to an opposite area, but then I further, did some patchwork for insulation in my living room. Then I had to go and buy a new stand for my TV. And I bought this mounting stand for my TV because my TV was set up for where the other couch was. One of the other couches that got moved out. So I basically had to change my entire living room around. This literally took all day from 7 a.m. until like the Bills Patriots game. I was rearranging my living room, setting this thing up. It was just a show. So, but when I had that Bills Patriots game on, I watched the first half. It wasn't even remotely competitive. It was just like the Bills were playing around. And it's almost like you could tell that this was a Bills team that was looking right at Bill Belichick and saying, gotcha. Like, this is 20 years in the making. This has come up, it's written all over. And I don't think anybody in the NFL, anyone in the NFL is going to feel bad for this Patriots team or Bill Belichick when they get trounced the way they do. Because Bill Belichick has not only run roughshod through the NFL for the last 20 years with his teams, but he's done a lot of crap. Like he's broken a lot of the unwritten rules of sportsmanship in a lot of ways, where there were certain games where it looked like they were running up the score and he would say, hey, stop us then. Now the chickens have come home to roost and no one feels bad.
No, yeah, you're not going to get any sympathy from a Dolphins fan.
No,
definitely.
If Bill Belichick is expecting sympathy from the NFL, he needs to look in the dictionary between shit and syphilis. That's where he's going to find his sympathy. And then the final wild card game, Bengals get their first division, their first playoff win in over 30 years, but it's not without its controversy. Jackson, when a whistle is blown during the play ends.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. And and I'm glad that Booger and his entire coaching crew will not be involved in the playoffs again. Good. Yeah. They shouldn't be.
Yeah,
that guy's trash. His entire officiating crew is just trash.
That was a big oof from that officiating staff. Yeah, it was. They made a mistake blowing the whistle to start with. And then, the old saying, 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, then it wasn't a good idea to just forget that you blew the whistle and be like, nope.
They did. And they totally forgot. It's just like,
who did that? It was a fan. It was a fan.
Yes, it is. I'm surprised they didn't try to blame it on a fan. Honestly, though, if I as a fan, if I really thought that blowing a whistle, if that would happen, I would have gone to Kansas City and every time Patrick Mahomes would drop back, throw a pass, I just blow the whistle really hard.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if that was the defining play. It's not like it was a game-winning drive.
They lost by a touchdown. They lost by a score.
Yeah, they lost by a touchdown. But I mean, you know, even if it's like they have to kick a field goal in that situation, then if Las Vegas still scores the same amount of points that they do, then they still lose at the end of the day. The score looks closer, but they still lose. A loss is a loss in the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't care how close or how big of a loss it is. One team's moving on and the other one's going home.
Trey, that's a Courtney question. She was sent the link. She said she got it. That's a Courtney question. Okay, cool. Yep, she's here. It's good. We had a Vendetta intern draft. My top pick, well, my only pick, was Ms. Katie Gwendolyn. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting everyone's name. I should probably stop giving Fitzgerald. Catherine Gwendolyn Fitzgerald. All right, you know what? All right, let's get. I want to hear. You know what? I want to get Katie's analysis on the division round. Let's take a break here, Jackson. We're going to take our first break and let's talk the division round, because now the division round is set up. The crap has now been taken out. So let's talk about the division round, and we're going to have the newest member of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, my intern, Miss Katarina Gwendolyn Fitzgerald, joining us. No relation to Larry Fitzgerald. At least I don't think so. I didn't ask during our initial meeting, but we'll see. We'll be back here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. Go to vendettasportsmedia.com where you can get all of our content, all of our blogs, all of our analysis. Follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Vendetta Sports Media. We'll be right back.
The following is brought to you in partnership by Symbol. Symbol is a new sports marketplace where you can trade shares of professional teams like stocks. You love sports. You interested in fantasy sports without the weekly annoyance of fantasy league upkeep? Then Symbol's the app for you. With Symbol, fantasy sports is going to a whole other level. How it works is simple. You buy Symbol shares for your favorite sim teams on the app. When your sim team wins, you get automatic cash deposits, and you don't lose any money when they lose. That's it. So if you follow trends across football, basketball, and baseball, and you think your team is a sleeper, simply invest in your favorite sim teams on Symbol and watch your virtual portfolio prove you right or wrong. And if you want to get in on the action right away, Vendetta Sports Media's got you covered. Go to symbol.app/Vendetta and use our exclusive promo code Vendetta, and you'll get a $10 bonus when making your first deposit. Symbol, taking fantasy sports to a whole other level.
All right, we're back here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live here on twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media, proud member of the Vendetta Sports Media Broadcasting Network. And now we're joined live for the first time ever here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show. And first of a few, or first of many appearances, my intern, well, she's Vendetta's intern, but she's my pick in the first ever Vendetta intern draft. Katie Fitzgerald. Katie, welcome. If your middle name is actually Gwendolyn, that would be awesome.
It's not, unfortunately, no.
Well, it is for purposes of the show, because I don't have to.
He gives everyone nicknames, mostly Aloysius, but
yeah, Aloysius is like my favorite name of all. Aloysius and Llewellyn are like my favorite names. Like, I seriously want to meet someone named Llewellyn Aloysius. Like, I would, if I met someone with that name, they would be my best friend, and I would just always say their full name, like constantly. So, Katie, tell everyone out there a little bit about you. Now, you're a sophomore at Oklahoma State University.
Yes.
And what is your major?
I am studying marketing and management.
Nice. Now, you said that you also want to get into, you want to get into brand marketing, correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, we can definitely use that around here. That's for sure. So, one of the reasons why we brought you on here, Trey, and of course Trey was like, "Bring her on. I want to get her analysis." So that means now the funny thing is that when you're working on this show, you never know when you're going to just get brought on to talk. So I want to get your take on a couple of things. I want to hear what you have to say on a few things. You can be the Vendetta's answer to Aaron Andrews. That could be fun. Minus the scandal. So we're going into divisional round of the NFL playoffs. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. First game, we're going to discuss the top-seeded Tennessee Football Titans, not to be confused with the T.C. Williams Titans, coached by the great Coach Boone, but the actual Tennessee Titans, coached by Mike Vrabel, versus the Joe Burrow and the unofficial Rookie of the Year, Jamar Chase.
I mean, you might as well just go ahead and hand it to him.
Might as well. Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, Katie, how confused are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
11.
11. Fair enough. Well, we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to have fun with it. This is a 4:30 game. It's going to be on Paramount Plus if you're streaming. I'm gonna start with you, Katie. I'm going to throw you right into the fire. Who do you think is going to win on this Saturday game between the top-seeded Titans and the Cincinnati Bengals?
Titans.
Okay. Any reason why?
No reason why.
I love it. I love it. So here now, Jackson, do you agree with Katie? Do you think the Titans are going to pull this one out, or do you think that the Bengals and Joe Burrow are going to be able to get this done?
I think it's going to be the Bengals. I still do not trust this Titans team, this Titans offense. Mike Vrabel has done an amazing job coaching this team and will probably get Coach of the Year from the fact that he lost his number 1 player in Derrick Henry, and still his team got the number 1 seed in the AFC. But I don't trust this Tennessee team. They could prove me wrong, and that's okay. But the Bengals are the hot hand. Right now, they are hot ending the season, and that's who I got moving on here.
See, I'm going to go with Katie, and I'm going to go with the Titans, and here's why. This Bengals offensive line is a joke. I mean, a total joke. They couldn't protect Joe Burrow if he were, I mean, I seriously, when I watch the Bengals play and I see Joe Burrow step back, every time someone comes near him, I wince because I'm expecting his knee to explode. I mean, the Bengals offensive line, you could put them in black and gold and I wouldn't know the difference. Joe Compton would have gotten really excited, Katie, if you would have said, because sunshine is hot, that's why the Titans were going to win. Joe, that would have made one of our listeners, Joe Compton, very happy. So just so you know, anytime it's the Titans, we're rooting for sunshine. Oh, wow. Sources say that Katie Fitzgerald is not a fan of the Grizzlies. Katie, is that true? Do you hate the Memphis Grizzlies?
I'm Switzerland here. No comment.
Great. She can be fans of other teams. You're not going to trigger me or bait me into anything.
Yeah, it's not like I don't see Jackson and Katie having a rivalry.
Trey just hates his own teams, so he tries to make other people miserable.
Remember last year, him and Courtney and that whole thing with Jay Crowder?
Oh, that was hilarious.
That was so much fun. Oh, so much to catch Katie up on. All right, but no, I seriously think that the Titans are going to pull this one out. I think the Titans are going to do what they're expected to do because this offensive line cannot protect Joe Burrow, and this Tennessee pass rush, I see them getting the job done. Plus, Mike Vrabel is a defensive-minded coach. Mike Vrabel did it for a lot of years in Pittsburgh and in New England. He's going to know how to get the job done. All right, Katie, your next chance. The top-seeded Green Bay Packers versus the 10-7 San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going Packers.
See that's the easiest one right there. That was a lob.
Yeah.
That was a lob right there. Honestly, this Saturday round of games is not very exciting. The playoff excitement, Jackson, tell me what you think of that. I think the Sunday games are far more exciting.
The Sunday games are definitely better. The Sunday games are almost like
these could be Super Bowl games in and of themselves.
Yeah, they're like AFC and NFC pre-championship games.
Exactly. Like, wow. Like those games could be championship games right there. But I will say this, I'm definitely going to go with the Packers as well. The 49ers are way too inconsistent. Whether Nick Bosa is in the lineup or not, Nick Bosa, as much as I hate to admit it, because he's soft right, Jay. Probably, but you know what? I did tell Katie. She's
going to put in her request for a demand for a trade.
Yeah, she really is. She's going to pull a Eli Manning right about now.
I am not going to play for them. I will not be mentored by Brian Tan.
But I did. To be fair, this is not exactly a shot because I did tell Katie. Did I not tell you that I was going to take you out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, you did say that. I wasn't expecting this though.
You know what? I did it. I do it for two reasons. Number one, Trey demanded it, and he's the boss. So if you're going to blame anyone, blame him. But for two, you never know what's going to happen. You never, ever know. Don't worry. I'm not going to put you on the spot again, at least for another month. This will be the last time I put you on the spot, at least for a month. So there you go. Good. So, but no, I seriously, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to he's going to carve this 49ers defense apart. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. And whether you've got Nick Bosa on that defensive line or not, Aaron Rodgers knows how to get it done. Aaron Rodgers, if anyone is going to Tom Brady, it's Aaron Rodgers. Even though, fake vaccine stuff notwithstanding. Hey, he dodges vaccine questions almost as well as he dodges defensive linemen. Is what it is. So let's go to Sunday. These Sunday games are far more interesting, and I can't wait. Katie, do you want to tell us who you think is going to win between the Tom Brady-led Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Aaron Donald / Matt Stafford-led Los Angeles Rams?
Rams on this one.
Oh, okay. See, I like that. Katie's going for defense. Offense gets the glory, but defense wins the game. I like that. See, Jackson, I knew I liked her. So who do you think, Jackson?
I would have to agree with Katie. I think the Rams get this done because of their defense. The opposing defense, the Bucs defense, which is also a great defense, has been pretty injury-ridden, as has the receiving core for Tom Brady. Mike Evans is back, but I don't know if he's going to be a major difference maker. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady's going to bring his A game. It's probably going to be one of the more fun games. Again, we got Bills Chiefs right after this game.
That's going to be a great game.
Going to be a great game. I'm expecting both of these games to be fantastic games. I got the Rams eking it out this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the trifecta on that. And Joe Compton really throws it out there too. The questions about Antonio Brown, when you start having questions about your head coach and his feelings toward player safety and player health, I don't care what anyone says. You can sit there and you can say that these guys are professionals, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to your body, you have to be able to trust that your coach is going to give a damn about your health. And there's so many reports coming out that, whoa, AD was actually right. He might have went about things the wrong way, but he was actually right. Not to mention the fact, that, this Rams defense is just ungodly. You got Aaron Donald up front. Then you've got, Jalen Ramsey in the defensive backfield. And this Rams defense is just stifling. And they're waking up at the right time. And Matt Stafford, it almost looks like he's going to start being known as that quarterback that's going to rise to the occasion at the biggest stage. So this is going to probably be one of the more fun games until we get to our next game. I definitely have the Rams in this because Aaron Donald's just going to have a beast of a game. And I'm pretty sure Aaron Donald has not forgotten. He doesn't. Aaron Donald doesn't forget. I see Aaron Donald throwing a Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive lineman into the crowd with one hand and then just getting flagged for taking Tom Brady's head off.
Also depends. This is another thing. If Tristan Wirfs is going to be 100%,
yes,
all-pro offensive lineman.
And I don't think he is, because he tried going back into the game and had to come right back out.
Yeah, so that could be a big issue.
Oh, and here we're coming up to the slobber knocker. That's why it's the final game of division round weekend. The slobber knocker. Business is about to pick up. The Bills, the Chiefs, Katie Fitzgerald's hometown, Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Katie, who are you picking in this game?
What's up, Putin?
All right, how's things going in nice, balmy Russia there, Putin? So, who do you have in? Are you going with the hometown team?
I have to.
Hey, you can admit to being a homer. That's
Hashtag
fine.
Red Nation.
Yeah, I don't know. That feels a little hurtful. That feels a little bit hurtful, Jackson. You know, as someone of Chippewa descent, I don't know if I want to be. I don't know if I want to hear it.
It's the color of the uniforms. The color of the uniforms. That's what they're saying. Tech 9 made a song called Red Nation.
Tech 9. Oh, you talking about that weird kid with all the tattoos in his face, the snitch?
No, that's Takesha 6ix9ine. Tech 9 is a Kansas City-based rapper.
I don't know who any of these people are anymore. You know what? Call me when Eric B and Rakim are touring again. How about them apples? You know what? Let me know when Wu-Tang is still nothing to fuck with, Jackson Law.
Hey.
Courtney, I shake my fists at clouds, and I shake my fists at the kids that aren't even anywhere near my front lawn. Okay? Tech 9, Tekashi 1650, freaking Steve. 1650. I don't care about Steve. Okay, look at the gray in my beard. No cares. No cares. Now, this Bills-Chiefs game, I have been waiting for this. This is the football game that I've been waiting. We need more Katie Fitzgerald questions. All right, fine. I'll stop talking about the Bills-Chiefs, and I'll ask Katie another question. Katie, is it true that you are the long-lost younger sister of Larry Fitzgerald, or is that false?
It's not true.
That's not true? Okay.
No.
All right.
Darn.
Dang. That would have been awesome if you were. Are you his long-lost daughter?
No.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, let me see. If you have any further questions for Katie Fitzgerald, just put them in the chat. So Jackson, who do you think is going to pull? Who do you have in this game? Who do you have in this Chiefs-Bills game?
Dude, it is so tough.
This is a hard game to call. This is probably the hardest game to call.
It is.
Of the weekend.
I just. I gotta go Bills, I think.
Oh.
Just because, I mean, walking into this game, they will have scored a touchdown on every possession except for the final possession of their game. And the only reason why they didn't score a touchdown was because the game ended. That's the only thing that stopped them scoring a touchdown against the Patriots, was because the clock ran out. The game was over. So
I thought it was going to be because of the 10-run rule.
And then
I was actually asking for a mercy rule for the Steelers.
Like, regardless of what, was the outcome of the Steelers game, the Steelers did kind of expose some weaknesses, I feel like. And Patrick Mahomes made a couple of bad decisions, one of them resulting in a pick early on. Now, if Buffalo can kind of figure the same things out early on, Buffalo has the offense to where they're going to go make the Chiefs pay. The reason why the Chiefs were so far ahead and ended up demolishing in that game was because the Steelers didn't have an offense that could capitalize on those mistakes. In fact, early on, the defense had to capitalize on their own takeaways and score a touchdown and finally break the scoring seal.
Yep, Joe Compton's absolutely right. The Chiefs get off to another slow start. this Bills team is not the team that you want to come to a slow start with. Oh wow, Trey just does not care about sports tonight. Katie, what kind of marketing plan do you have for Vendetta? What do you have? What sort of plans do you have for this show and for Vendetta as a whole? In the 50 some odd minutes that you've been in on this, that you watched this show / been yanked into this show kicking and screaming, and the so far 24 hours that you started with Vendetta, what are some of the marketing plans that you have?
Probably less surprise guests would be a good plan. Other than that,
You just made me spit water on my dog. Poor Odette. All right. So no more surprise guests. What else?
the rest I think I will have to work on later. This is my first introduction to Vendetta, so
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Not entirely sure.
That was a very, very good credit. That was, you know what? That was awesome. That was awesome, Katie. You're gonna fit in just fine. You're doing great. You're doing absolutely great. I could not be happier with you right now. I really couldn't. Like you're doing really, really well. Because you know what? Courtney does the same thing unless we're talking basketball. See, I'll give you a little insight on Courtney. You got to get Courtney really riled up. That's why Trey is messing with you. That's why Trey likes messing with you. He likes to get people riled up. See, Courtney, you start talking football, Courtney is just real chill about it. But then you bring up Jay Crowder in basketball, and Courtney just starts like throwing darts. It's absolutely hilarious. So we just gotta find your thing. We just gotta find your switch. We just got to find your switch. All right. So Courtney is picking the Chiefs. I haven't picked. You know what? I do not know if I can even call this, because here's the thing. These two teams match up so well together. As far as the Chiefs finally have a defense, which is really, really good for them. But the Bills have an amazing defense. Both teams have strong offensive, strong defenses. They are probably the most evenly matched team. This is the most evenly matched game, period. Like, you know how in comic books, the villain and the hero are always like equal. This is the most comic book matchup on the schedule right now. And I'll tell you the truth, the winner of this game is definitely going to be the champion coming out of the AFC. I see it right now. Either one of these teams can wipe the floor with the Titans or the Bengals easily. So the winner, I'm calling it right now, you two. The winner of this game is going to the Super Bowl. Calling it. If I'm wrong, then Katie this is now the Katie Fitzgerald Sports Show. Man up and pick one. Oh, I'm being called out. I got to pick one. I have to pick one.
Yeah.
I don't like you right now, Joe Compton. I really don't. You know what? I'm actually going to go with the Bills just for the fact that the Bills do have one thing that the Chiefs do not have. That's a consistent running game. Singletary kid is off the charts good.
Devin Singletary, baby.
Devin Singletary is an amazing runner. He's a physical runner. He's fast. He will hit those holes. He is not afraid of contact. And, you know, the Chiefs only run when they have, like, no choice. So, all right, fine. If I have to, I'm going to pick the Bills. And the Bills are going to be representing the American Football Conference in the Super Bowl. There. You happy now?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know, Katie, are you happy?
Yeah, super.
Awesome. No, I ain't going to Alabama. Bad things happen to black folks in Alabama when they're not sports stars. I ain't going to Alabama. Then I go down to Alabama and I end up getting lynched. Then what? Who's going to run the Tanndemonium Sports Show? My son isn't ready to take on this mantle.
Just run if you hear banjos. That's the only advice I can give you.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I'm going to be taking a trip. I'm going to visit my son for his birthday. I'm going to have a 13-year-old after Sunday. So, and of course, the state of Pennsylvania, Katie, is Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and everything in between is Kentucky. So, yeah, if I hear banjos or see a nice, soft ambient glow in the horizon, I'm just stepping on the gas. And I'm not stopping. And if I hear a thud and someone scream my name, sorry, survival of the fittest. That's what Darwin said. All right, we're going to take our final break. We're going to move on. We're going to talk a little bit of let me see. What do we have here? What do we have here now? What do we got going on here now? Apparently, I can't go back to the our show notes for whatever reason.
Oh, well, Mike Mayock got fired. That's a big thing.
I'm happy about that. That doesn't make me sad.
Good job, Raiders.
Yeah, glad to see you guys are doing what you need to do. Oh, Russell Wilson wants to explore options this offseason. David Culley getting fired. I'm not a big fan of that move. That's a horrible move.
Yeah, that was bad.
Not by the Titans, by the Texans.
He was in a bad situation, but he somehow made it entertaining, and they won football games. And he made Davis Mills look like QB1.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. And they fired him. And that just sort of goes to show this is something that was discussed on Roland Martin Unfiltered last week when the news dropped that he had been fired. And actually, Jackson, I'm going to ask, I want you to mull over this question real quick.
Yeah.
Why is it that coaches of color have a shorter leash? Why is that? We'll talk about that. Katie, you don't have to touch this one. You can go back to observing and shadowing. Thanks for being a good sport. Thanks for jumping in, and we'll talk to you when the show is over. Everyone else, this is the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live here on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media. If you want to catch us live every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5:30 Central, 3 p.m. Pacific. Yep, 3 p.m. Pacific. I almost said specific. It's Pacific. I know my time zones.
Specific time.
I know the specific Pacific time zone. Okay, remember that. But we'll be back here. We'll be back, and you know what, Jackson? I think I could use a coffee right about now.
Me too, man. Me too.
Me too. All right, we'll be back after a word from our sponsors and for our final segment here on the Tanndemonium Sports Show here on twitch.tv, part of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network.
The following broadcast is brought to you in association by XP Coffee Company. XP Coffee Company is the fresh brewed coffee made for gamers by gamers. Get amazing flavors like Choco Loco in 8, 12, or 16-ounce bags. Or level up and get Illusion, Isolation, Nightmare, or the Majestic Throne blends in light, medium, or dark roast in whole bean, coarse French press, drip, or fine espresso in 12-ounce, 16-ounce, or 2-pound bags. Wow! Shipping worldwide. If you're in the U.S., go to usa.xpcoffee.co. If you're in Europe or in the U.K., go to www.xpcoffee.co. XP Coffee Company, for gamers, by gamers.
All right, we're back here on the final segment of the Tanndemonium Sports Show, broadcasting live here on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media, proud member of the Vendetta Sports Media Podcasting Network. So, Jackson Law, I posed a question to you, and it really seems to me, like I said, all right, David Culley. Now, this guy has been an NFL assistant since 1994. All right, that's almost 30 years. He's just now getting a head coaching opportunity. He only gets one campaign on a Texans team that has next to nobody on it. And franchise quarterback essentially inactive all season because he's facing sexual assault allegations. The guy did everything he possibly could. This Texans team was in it. They were in a lot of games.
They won 4 games, and there's maybe 1 or 2 other games where they were competitive in, where if they have a slightly better roster, then we're looking at a 6-win team, potentially. which for given the situation isn't terrible. Isn't terrible.
Right. So my thing is this: I really feel like that this firing is just garbage. This is a garbage decision.
It is. Regardless of what the reasoning is, it's not sound reasoning.
It's not. And one of the things that I say, like, now, number one, you're the NFL, Jackson. 70 to 80% of your talent roster is African American. You have only, at this point now, you have one active African American head coach. One of the longest tenured, among the longest tenured assistant coaches in the game, almost 30 years, getting his first head coaching gig. And he leads your garbage dump to 4 wins. He makes essentially a nobody look like a face of the franchise style quarterback. How do you fire this guy?
I can't tell you. Just
and
that
this team never quit on him. This team never quit on this man.
They never did. And it shows the colors of the Texans organization as just a poorly run franchise that acts like they don't want to win. They don't want to try to get better. If anything, exactly. I don't think this will be his last opportunity. It shouldn't be his last opportunity. People should see. But the problem with NFL coaching right now is it's who are you an assistant under? What tree do you fall from?
We talked about this with Josh Taylor. Yeah,
exactly. That's all it's dependent on right now. You know, it's the same reason why Belichick coaches continue to get hired and they're all terrible. They all fail miserably. Okay. And believe me, I wanted that cycle to end just as much as anyone else with Brian Flores in Miami. But there's been a lot of information come out, and it's probably a good idea that Miami parted ways with him.
I seriously think with I'm glad that you brought up Brian Flores, because at least if that's the thing, see, for me, if I'm Tua Tagovailoa, I'm actually happy about this because it shows that the organization wants me.
Yeah.
This is the organization telling him, look, we sucked for putting you through this all season. This is us showing you that you're our guy. And that's not an indictment on Brian Flores. Brian Flores wanted what he wanted. You can't fault the guy for that.
Yeah. And I think Flores will get another job somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's gonna be Chicago or it's gonna be New York. Those seems like the two teams that he wants to be with the most. And then there's even rumors now that Flores will take a job somewhere if they can pull off a Deshaun Watson trade. Like if New York's in need of a quarterback, they go out, they grab Deshaun, and then Flores is like, heck yeah, 100%, I'm taking this job. Or it could be Flores takes the job, and then the Giants are all in on going for Watson.
Now, here's my thing, and I pose this question to you. Yeah, and you know, mainly because I don't think that Gwendolyn should be the only
day
one.
One getting hit with the tough questions.
Yeah, so I'm going to hit you with a tough question.
Of course.
Do you see this as an instance of a coach of color being kept on a shorter leash than his Caucasian counterparts, or is this just part of the course of the NFL?
Can the answer be both? That it's part of the course for the NFL? Because I feel
that's how you see it. I asked you the question. This is
that's kind of how I see it. I feel like African American coaches, they do have a shorter leash, but then it's like if you go situation by situation, it's like it doesn't matter who was going to step in there as the Texans head coach. It was an awful situation, and it just so happened to be a black coach that gets the job, does an amazing job, and then they kick him to the curb for whatever reason. Like, it could have been a white coach that stepped in there. If he had done the exact same thing that had happened here, if he somehow got 4 wins and was competitive, and despite quarterbacks getting hurt, and you have a rookie quarterback that was taken in a late round that you're somehow still winning football games with, and he gets fired, then I would still have problems with this firing, because it makes absolutely no sense. But I think both of your statements, both sides of that question, can be true. There is truth in both of those statements. But, and again, and I think it just mostly goes back to the fact that he probably didn't have the pedigree or, come from the right coaching tree. And I think that's the big thing. It's the Shanahan versus the Belichick coaching tree. That's who's hot right now. Like, the guy that I want Miami to hire, McDaniel from San Francisco, he's a part of the Shanahan coaching tree, which I feel like he does bring a bit of a changes things up a little bit, because he's the one that's responsible for putting Deebo Samuel in the backfield, and then the quarterback under center just turning around and pitching it to Deebo, and then Deebo finding the run lane and letting him go off. And it's worked out pretty well for Deebo Samuel. They started doing that.
Jalen Waddle being in that same.
Oh my God, I would love Jalen Waddle in that situation, man. That's the whole reason why I want him here.
See, I would love to see, number one, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. Number one, none of these teams that are in need of a head coach are going to do. I don't see them doing much of anything until the Chiefs are eliminated, because I think Eric Bieniemy is the top on some of these. He should be if he's not.
Should be. Eric Bieniemy and Byron Leftwich should both be getting a ton of calls.
Absolutely. I would love to see. Now, if I had my way, I would have Byron Leftwich going to Jacksonville. I would have Eric Bieniemy going to Chicago.
I'd love that.
I would like to see Brian Flores go to New York to coach the Giants, because I want to see the Giants have a monster defense again. I really do. And as far as David Culley, you know what?
Raiders?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, go to the Raiders and let him, if he could do what he did with a late round rookie quarterback, imagine what he would do with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
in Vegas, everyone's saying Vegas, because Stephen Ross said he wouldn't be the one to take Harbaugh from Michigan, but there is the Michigan connection, because Stephen Ross, who is the owner of the Miami Dolphins, is an alum of Michigan.
Let Harbaugh go to Houston then. But you know what? F the Harbaughs. I'm sick of both of them. F them both in their silly faces. You know what? I want to see one wear pink shorts, the other one wear freaking purple shorts. And I just want someone to grab them and roll them down a hill. Just grab them and just push them down a hill like in the Karate Kid 1. I want them riding on their bicycles together. I want them on a tandem bicycle together. And I want to see Johnny Lawrence and the other Cobra Kais just come up behind them and run them off a hill. I don't like the Harbaugh brothers. I don't know why I don't like the Harbaugh brothers. I just don't. There's just something in their stupid faces that just makes me annoyed. And you know what? They're probably really, really nice guys in real life. That's
one of them does coach a division rival of yours. So,
and he likes, and you know what? He Dutch ovens himself. That's all I have to say about that. But no, I seriously, but in all seriousness, I definitely do see. I think Harbaugh, if Harbaugh is putting this much into it and he's not answering any questions that dispel it, then yeah, he's definitely going to take one of these head coaching jobs. I mean, hey, if he goes to Miami, I think that'll be very interesting. I'd like to see Miami start to get some of that toughness. I'd like to see a Harbaugh brothers coach fest in the AFC. I'd be all for it. I would be all for it. I really would. Speaking of the Giants, I definitely want to see them focus heavily on Brian Flores. Good. Was it the Dutch oven himself aspect of it, or was it the tandem bicycle and the Cobra Kais? But I would love to see the Giants go after Brian Flores, because that's really going to make and change this franchise. Brian Flores as their head coach is going to change the face of this franchise. I think it's going to change the identity.
Yeah, just my thing is like everyone says the same thing. He just needs to hire a good offensive coordinator. He went went through technically 4 offensive coordinators because he had 2 people calling plays last season that were both offensive coordinators. So he's technically had 4, but every year he's had a new offensive coordinator and a host of other coordinators
Just
and
other
assistants
dudes.
just rotating in and out. And it's like, that's the
You
worst
can't
thing
have
that you could
that.
do for a rebuild. You can't have that.
I seriously think, though, if he goes to the Giants, I think that the Mara family they're gonna say, look, we can't have that. When you hire your guys, make sure they're your guys. But I now here's the thing: if Brian Flores goes to the Giants and he can't be successful, then he's right back to only being a defensive coordinator. And I only say only because he's not going to be a head coach in the NFL anymore. He'll probably have a chance to coach college.
Some people are just built to be college coaches or coordinators in the NFL. Some people just can't be. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
All right. So finally, let's look at the let's shift to the NBA and we'll close out the show on this. All-star voting. The fan vote returns. For the Western Conference, for the front court, LeBron James with 4 million votes. Tops in the front court. But in the back court, you got Steph Curry with 4.4 million. Only just under 100,000 votes separate them.
Yep.
And then you got your man Ja Morant, right? Like,
hey, he's
light years behind. Steph
but
Curry.
here's the thing, though, is second place. If you get second place, then you get enough of player and coach votes, then he gets that second starting spot in the All-Star game. AD has way too many votes. I agree.
Has far too many votes, and I'm casually watching. I'm barely casually watching basketball.
In the video that I made for the starters for the East and West, I did have Paul George in there, but Paul George is probably going to miss it. So the fact that that Wiggins is up there, Andrew Wiggins,
that's crazy to me that Andrew Wiggins is there. Like that's amazing.
He's played well, and he's.
Well, I think Andrew Wiggins is one of those guys that goes to show just because you have talent on one level,
he's a late bloomer.
You're not ready to be the franchise guy.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying that it's crazy with what he was doing before, and now here he is finally. And of course, I think Jokic got 3 million votes. 1, because he's good, and 2, because people are afraid that him and his brother are going to start looking for him.
Here's the thing: Klay Thompson's played like 2 games this season,
and he's got
700, almost 750,000 votes, almost 750,000 votes.
Dude, he's got more votes than Devin Booker.
That's sad.
And Ja Morant has more votes than Luka Doncic.
Well, Luka's missed a lot of time, and Ja's been electric. Ja has been electric.
Dude, I think that Ja should be getting that spot just for that block alone.
That was hot. That was hot. That got me going.
But Klay Thompson getting those votes, I mean, that just goes to show, I think, how Klay Thompson is regarded in professional basketball.
I think that's just 100% Golden State fans that are just only turning in ballots that have all Golden State players. Like, listen, we almost had a situation in the NBA a few years ago where Zaza Pachulia was almost a starter because of the fan votes. And that's when the NBA was like, okay, we got to backpedal the power of the fan vote.
Oh, that's funny. That's too funny. Now, here's the thing that I'm looking at. Oh, okay. Joe Compton coming in hot for your man Ja Morant, saying he'll get MVP.
I think if Memphis can stay top 3 in the West, Ja will get a few. I don't know if he gets first place, but he may get like a couple third place, maybe a second place vote.
Memphis is definitely a team that you got to give credit for having a lot of patience and knowing how to work with what they've got, putting those right pieces together and just making it work.
COVID, though. I'm so sad. I said Desmond Bane's out with COVID and they play the Bucks tomorrow, man. This sucks.
So can I just tell you, I almost bought 2K22 and then I kept seeing all the negative reviews on it.
It's terrible. It's supposedly terrible.
That's what I hear. But I mean, it is what it is. Why did the Hawks beat the Bucks the other night? Because the heels sometimes have to pull out some shadiness to win games. Don't you watch wrestling, Courtney?
Because the Hawks had that game, by the way, was like the first Hawks win since like the beginning of December. They'd lost like 10 home games in a row.
Wow.
Hawks are in shambles, man. Hawks are falling apart. The fans, it's been so funny because I've been joining like all these Twitter spaces.
Yeah, you've been talking about how you've been getting into the Hawks Twitterverse.
Well, it's like I'm really in the Grizz ones because that's where I like chime in and everything, and I've met a lot of people, made some Twitter friends on there.
Oh, you're making friends.
I'm making friends. Yeah, mommy, I made new friends at school.
Yay! He's my new best friend. Where does he live? I don't know, but what's his name?
Never met him before. Never met him before. We're friends though. We're friends. But yeah,
That's
I've like jumped into Lakers ones, and the Lakers ones are so funny.
Because everyone's miserable.
Yeah, and it's really funny because the ones that I've been getting in, Russell Westbrook's brother has been in them chatting. And it's so funny because before he gets in there, before people realize it, they are just bashing the crap out of Westbrook. So when Westbrook posterized Gobert and was just letting the crowd, like he was just jawing at the crowd, in the back of his mind, he's like, that's what I'm doing to all the people on Twitter Spaces that my brother is telling me about. I'm sure maybe Russ even listens in on some of the Twitter Spaces. I don't know. Maybe he's got a burner account hidden in there somewhere. But the Hawks ones were hilarious after the Cam Reddish trade. Oh my gosh. I had to make a video about it because it was just so funny. And I wasn't in the one where in the video that I made, I posted a video of what someone had screen recorded. Yeah. This dude was just going off. He's like, I hope Cam dropped 50, bro. I hope he beats us. He's like, the Knicks. Why the Knicks? Oh, it's hilarious.
I really wish, honestly, I really wish that Russell Westbrook would just quietly retire. Him and Kyrie Irving both. I can't stand either.
Listen, we are getting into the point. Someone posted the most accurate thing I've ever seen in my life, and it is the yearly trends of Russell Westbrook, of being a Russell Westbrook fan, where the first part of the season, I need to find the picture and I'll send it in the Slack and I'll
just share your screen. Just share.
I don't have it on me. I'll have to find it. I know where to find it. I just have to.
Well, give it to Courtney send it to Courtney so she can put it on the Tanndemonium account.
I will.
And at Tanndemonium VSM, by the way.
But it talks about how it's like the first beginning of the season, it's like this is the worst player ever. Then there's a smaller section where it's like, oh, ? And then it's like there's a big section where it's like this is the greatest player to ever play basketball of all time. And then it has one more little section where it's the playoffs and it just says WTF.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I'll find it. I'll send it to you, Courtney, and then Tanndemonium can tweet it out.
All right.
Because the person circled the date and it is exactly in the portion where it's like, oh, because Russell Westbrook had a slightly good game and it's like, oh
my goodness, it's happening. He's finally turning the corner. Well, he's 32 years old.
And he does turn the corner, and then he goes back to being Russell Westbrook when you need him the most, which is the playoffs.
Fair enough. Oh, so before we go, we got to talk a little bit of gaming. J-Law.
Yeah.
I don't know. Katie, are you a gamer? I guess I should have asked Katie. Katie, are you a gamer? If you're a gamer, just come on screen or just shoot a private chat. Are you a gamer? Because this might be something that you can actually talk about if you're a gamer. I know Courtney's a gamer. Courtney, get in here. I want to talk. I want to get your thoughts on this, Courtney. You're a gamer. I seen your PS5. You're trying to throw it in Jackson and I's face that you had a next-gen console. You can't do that no more because I got a Series X now. So there.
You can still do it to me. I ain't got one.
Yeah. We can make fun of you because, whatever.
Look at this.
All right,
Xbox.
So you have a Series X?
Yeah, I have the one that you have.
Oh, okay. Wait, how the hell do you have a Series X and a PS5?
Yeah.
Damn, I need to be Courtney Don't Call a Plumber rich. Damn. All right, so Katie's not a gamer. Okay. So Microsoft, the same company that's putting tracking technology in all of the COVID vaccines, according to some. First of all, if you really believe that, I just have to laugh in your face right about now. They have made another big purchase. Now, before, there was something going on with Sony, and Microsoft was like, well, we're going to trump that by buying Bethesda. Bam! And then PlayStation goes, well, fine. We're going to have our own version of Gamer Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. So what does Xbox say? All right, you can do that. Bam, bitch, I just bought Blizzard. $68.7 billion, guys.
That's crazy.
Almost 70 billion with a B dollars. Yo. Courtney.
That's good for me. I like Call of Duty, so
Did
everything.
Did Microsoft win the console battle of this generation? Like, is this an early victory?
I don't know. So far, yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, it's a huge dub in a sense for Game Pass, because that's what they're trying to focus more on.
Yeah.
I wish that I could have I wish they had sold stock in Game Pass, because I was on the Game Pass train right when they announced it. I was like, this thing is going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. And I was telling everybody, it's like, guys, it's Netflix but video games. Which, you guys remember GameFly? That's what that used to be.
I remember GameFly,
because
I had GameFly.
Yeah,
I had GameFly.
That's how I got into Call of Duty the first time. Was like, I didn't want to spend the money to buy the games. You know, I was obviously like,
I'd rather do that $15 a month.
I wasn't 18 years old, or I wasn't 17 years old, so I couldn't buy the games. So I got them through GameFly, and that's how I played OG Call of Duties.
I remember when GameFly first came out, and I remember those old GameFly commercials, man. That was on point.
But it's like now this is like the updated version of GameFly, because Netflix went from sending videos like DVDs to your home to the streaming movies, and now it's basically, it's not streaming video games, but it's cloud gaming, where you just download the games and you can play them, and if you're done with them, you delete them, you put them up there. It could be 3 years later and you're like, dang, I really want to play that game. Oh, look, guess what, it's still on Game Pass. Download it and play it some more. Pick right back up where you left off. I was preaching about it from the rooftops. I wish I could have gotten commission, because I've probably helped Microsoft get a little bit of cash through there from convincing my friends, hey, you should totally get it so that we can play these games together. And now they own all these studios. They are the Thanos of collecting game studios. They have got them all, and they are about to snap Sony out of existence.
I am happy about this, because maybe
probably not,
just,
but you know,
Yeah,
maybe,
probably not. But
maybe I'm really hoping.
Sony's good. Sony's got a lot going for
them. Well,
them.
see, I'm hoping that Microsoft will be able to show Square Enix, you don't have to let Final Fantasy VII be a Sony exclusive for good.
We're just gonna buy you.
Or better yet, you know what? KOTOR, the KOTOR remake, why do we gotta wait a year to get it? Look at all of what we have to offer.
Yeah.
What does Sony have? They have Spider-Man,
God of War.
They have Spider-Man and God of War. I'm sorry, God of War and Uncharted haven't been super relevant in a long time.
They have Ghost of Tsushima. I loved Ghost of Tsushima.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know.
I mean, because see, here's the thing. Xbox doing this. Everyone used to always say Xbox has no exclusive. Xbox has no exclusive. All they have is Halo. All they have is Halo. Fine. Now we gonna have nothing but exclusives. Now the thing is, though, in the fact that even if some of these companies do allow their games to go cross-platform, now you're just being kind.
Yeah, and all that money goes to your competitor.
But the thing is, though, is that you're getting a kickback of stuff, though. You're getting a kickback. So you're making money off of your competitor still.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, this is a huge dub right about now. Because if Xbox says, you know what, I think the next 3 Call of Duty games are going to be Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Everybody is walking away from Sony for Call of Duty.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Xbox exclusive and day one available on Game Pass.
Yeah.
That is game changing.
That is
game changing.
And for me, what I'm most excited about is I'm not spending money to play WoW on a subscription. So what if you have Ultimate Game Pass and they just say, you know, you don't have to do a subscription to play WoW?
I would say wow.
I would actually start playing it more. Like, granted, I can go into the Blizzard store right now and re-download WoW and play it, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to have available to me because I don't have the monthly subscription. But if they do something like that for Ultimate Game Pass, which I have for free for 2 years, well, not for free, but I got for 2 years because of my Series X purchase.
You got it for 2 years?
2 years.
Wow.
Yeah. No, they're more concerned about getting people on their Game Pass platforms than they are about selling consoles.
Yeah, selling console. Like, honestly, I seriously think that for now, we're probably not going to see another new console for until at least late 2020s. We're not going to see another generation.
It'll be a solid 8 years from now, probably.
Yeah, we're not going to see a new console until 2030.
That's kind of sad when you think about it.
Well, because the problem is that they're putting so much money into the technology now, they got to get some bang for their buck. So they're probably what they're going to do is like in 3 years' time, they're going to start researching and starting on the new console. I guarantee you, I'm calling it right now. Xbox is going to probably buy the Oculus so they can start focusing on VR.
I would say there's like one more game studio that's out there, and it would be the biggest shocking purchase of all time if they bought this like final independent publisher.
Which one is that? 2K?
EA.
EA.
Oh
Yeah. Take-Two Interactive is the other big one. But
if they buy EA
would be like $100 billion deal.
If they buy EA, Sony is finished.
Yeah.
Like that, like their gaming division is finished. And then the thing is, Sony is then gonna have to merge or be bought out by Disney because they're gonna lose a lot of money. Now, EA, if I'm EA, I don't sell out. I keep pitting them against each other. But EA is in a lot of trouble now too, guys. Because Madden they're getting a lot of blowback with Madden. And they've got a lot. If this college football game does not hit,
oh my gosh, there will literally be riots in the street if this isn't
the second.
You know what? I'm gonna be at the front too. I'm gonna be at the front lines. If that college football game sucks, I will be in the streets, balaclava on, fighting the guerrilla war against EA.
Dude, you really just took.
I'm still waiting on the NBA Live game, but
you're gonna be waiting a long time, sis.
Yeah.
You're gonna be waiting a long time. Because the thing is, well, actually maybe not that long, because with these reviews on 2K, it might be time to strike
in and help them. I mean, like, just blow us away because 2K is terrible.
2K is trash.
2K is trash. Like, I'm not spending money on another 2K game. Like, honestly, let's talk about 2K for a second. Right about now, so they had to, the WWE game series was a big deal for them. That was a big coup for them. They took it, they ran with it, and they ran it to the ground.
Yeah.
So bad that they had to they had to take time off. Now they're releasing stills of this latest game. I'm not impressed at all. It looks like the last game to me. If this isn't any good, I seriously think that 2K is going to be in some serious trouble to the point where they're probably going to get bought out. And if I'm Sony, I would probably buy out 2K because, number one, that nullifies your biggest competitor in the basketball.
Yeah, here's the
Here's
the thing.
Oh no, that's EA. If I'm EA, I buy. Yeah. Sorry, not Sony. If I'm EA, I try to swallow up 2K.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. The 2K franchises are owned by Take-Two Interactive.
Right.
Take-Two Interactive is also the same developer that owns Rockstar, and that is their cash cow. They are literally surviving from Rockstar games, specifically GTA Online. Like, how many billions has that thing generated them.
Honestly, I'm not touching Grand Theft Auto 5 again until the Series X update comes because but at the same token, I probably won't even play it that much.
It's a game that's been on 3 generations.
That's true.
That is insane. Make
That
the
is
next
true.
game already.
I'm not gonna lie, their little like Christmas and like holiday like updates is kind of cool though.
See, I don't play games online with people. I just don't because it just doesn't interest me. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Like there's certain games like I used to play Gears of War 2 online like crazy. I used to play horde mode like I would seriously. There was a group of cats, and I was older than them, but we would get together every Saturday afternoon and play Gears 2 on horde mode all day, and it never got old. I think this went on for like almost a year.
You're gonna make me cry, man. I'm remembering the good old days.
Yeah, well, we could probably have to do that at some point, but you still ain't send me your gamer tag, so I don't want no more. You can kiss my entire ass, Jackson. How about that? Xbox, at least speaking of that is.
I am feeling romantical.
Okay.
Have you seen that? Have you seen It's a meme or it's a dude that's in prison and there's a very large African American man that walks up behind him and he's like, "Why don't you shut down that computer call and kiss me on my hot mouth? I'm feeling romantical." And the man's just like,
wow, that's uncomfortable. That's like that's as awkward as Eli Manning wearing a death row chain.
Oh my dude, I love that so much. That is hilarious.
Oh, that's
like,
see,
does he realize that a similar chain to that was the domino that fell that killed Tupac?
No,
because
Eli Manning. Eli Manning looks like that awkward ass Mormon kid. Like seriously, Eli Manning could be in the Orgasmo remake playing Joe Young. Okay.
And but what I mean by that is this. Okay, so the whole reason why Tupac gets into a fight with someone in Vegas is because someone in his crew recognized someone that tried to steal a death row chain from a guy. They beat the hell out of him and tried to steal his death row chain, but he got away. And then he recognized him and told Tupac. So Tupac and his boys went and beat the crap out of this dude. And then that's when Tupac leaves. And supposedly this is when that guy and his crew that got their asses kicked, they get a gun, drive around, find Tupac, and then kill Tupac.
That's way
all over a death row chain.
That is
and now
so
Eli freaking Manning, the whitest dude to ever exist, owns one.
Dude, Eli Manning is about like super milk bottle, man. Like, I'm sorry.
His jail cell shaking right now.
Suge Knight is about you, motherfucker. Like Eli Manning seriously looks like a clear glass of milk sitting on a freaking white saucer in the middle of a blizzard. He really does. Like Eli Manning is Moon Knight. Okay, he is just super. Like I'm looking at this picture that was put up in the company Slack. Like he's like, I seriously want to put on that meme when grandma finds you a gold chain to wear to school. Like that's what it looks like to me. He looks so awkward, but so proud to be wearing a gold chain.
I know he is so happy that he got one.
I'm black now. That's the look on his face. He goes,
"This was sent to me by Snoop Dogg for my birthday.
My one black friend got me a present." I like him a lot better now that he's retired. I really do, because him and Peyton are just too funny.
I need confirmation of a 10-year minimum contract from ESPN between those two. Okay, that's the only reason why I tune in for Monday Night Football. Normally, I just keep it muted, especially with the crew that they have now. Brian Greasy and the rest of them are just awful.
He's greasy. He needs to take a shower. He's greasy as hell.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to see
legend though.
I want to see Eli Manning get like a grill now. With that, wearing a grill with that shade. No, Courtney said no, that won't work. All right, that's cool.
Answer me this: does Eli roll up to the barbecue with the gold chain on?
I don't think getting that chain gets him. I don't think he has barbecue privileges yet. No. I think Peyton gets the barbecue privileges over Eli. because Peyton has those nationwide commercials. So black folks, we love jingles and commercials. We'll hum a commercial jingle. So I could actually see a black dude just getting a chicken parmesan talking about chicken parm. You taste so good. I could just see it. No, actually, you know what though? I can see. You know what? I want to see Eli in a gender swapped remake of Golden Girls, wearing the Death Row chain. And then we get the one black guy that gospels up the Golden Girls theme song, singing that show's theme, complete with "Here's my pot right here." Like, that's the TV show that I want, and it's going to be Eli, Peyton, Drew Brees, and Archie Manning as Sophia.
It's just all the Mannings and Drew Brees.
Yeah, but Drew Brees is playing the Blanche character, so Drew Brees is a hoe. Faux show. I need help. All right, with that being said, make sure you go to vendettasportsmedia.com where you can get all of our content. Go to our YouTube channel right about now where you can actually watch the video of the first ever Vendetta intern draft where I drafted Katarina Gwendolyn Fitzgerald to the Tanndemonium Sports Show family. These names. Hey, be glad I ain't give you're just don't call. Your middle name is Don't Call Her. So I mean, Courtney said, "Don't be giving me no crazy." She was like, That's crazy enough." Oh man. But make sure you go to vendettasportsmedia.com where you can get all of our content. Follow us on YouTube. You go to YouTube, hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you can get notified of some or all of our content. Follow Vendetta Sports Media on Twitter at media_vendetta, or follow the show at Tanndemonium VSM, whatever works. We'll talk to you guys next week where we will break down this past weekend's next week it'll be the past weekend. This weekend's division playoff games. We'll talk about the AFC and NFC championships respectively. And then for our first show in February, we're going to have a special guest. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. With that being said, it's Tanndemonium Sports Show. I'm Bryan Tann, Jackson Law, Courtney Don't Call a Plumber, and then, of course, the newest member of the team, Katie Fitzgerald. We'll see you guys next week. See ya!